Numbers 42 through 45, People versus Jason Poley, 22585 FH, 22584 FH.
Jessica Lynch, appearing on behalf of People.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Marcia Creature on behalf of Mr. Poley.
Good afternoon. Mr. Poley, can you hear us?
Yeah, Jason Poley.
Okay. Today's the date and time set for a pretrial, a couple of hearings on contempt of court. So what are we thinking we're doing today, counsel?
May we approach briefly for a bench conference? I understand it's been a long day, but we'll make it brief, Your Honor.
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we are back on the record in People versus Jason Poley, cases number 22584 FH, 22585 FH. Record should reflect a bench conference with counsel. Counsel for the defense was advocating for essentially a repeat of the prior ruling of the court released to treatment at Sacred Heart. While I am aware that Mr. Poley does need some treatment, and I'm in agreement with that, at this point, it's too recent. What happened is what's alleged to have happened is too recent for me to be willing to do that. So I'm going to adjourn the pretrials and the contempt hearings to January 4th at 1:30. At that time, Ms. Creature, if you wish to make another request or another argument that your client should be released to inpatient treatment, I was really willing to consider that. Since he's now left the hearing, I guess we'll have to unveil that in January. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
You have a good day, Your Honor. Thank you.
You too.
Yep.
We are on the record in case numbers 2022 CR 180 and 2022 CR 182, both captioned State of Kansas versus Lavita Reeves. Please announce appearances.
May it please the court, the state appears by Jill Gillette, County Attorney.
Your Honor, Miss Reeves appears in custody in Elk County Jail with Counsel Joseph Favre.
And I understand she's in Elk County Jail because of overcrowding or some other problem here in Greenwood County. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. No new charges down there in in Elk. Is that right?
Not yet, but we'll see how the hearing goes.
Was that a joke or is there some truth?
Yes,
in
that was a joke, Judge.
All right. Well,
I apologize. Yes,
Well, I
apologize.
could use a little levity there. Thank you. All right. So how does she wish to proceed? Any announcements on these cases, counsel?
We do have an announcement, Judge. Miss Reeves will be pleading guilty to count 2 of case 22 CR 180, which is violation of a protective order. It is agreed to dismiss count 1 as well as case 22 CR 182. There's a joint recommendation for sentencing that involves her paying the restitution from 22 CR 182, as well as having a 12-month underlying sentence, 12-month probation, and staying away from no contact order with the alleged victim, or the victim in this case, Miss Heather Hunt.
Okay, let's look at that. 22 CR 180 is the case in which she has 2 counts of violation of a protection order, different days, but same alleged victim in each count. Is that right? And
That's correct.
She's going to admit one and the other will be dismissed. Plea agreement. And that agreement also includes dismissal of 22 CR 182, in which she's looking at 1 count of criminal use of a financial card or misuse without the owner's consent and an amount less than $1,000. That's going to be dismissed as part of the plea agreement, but the restitution is going to be added to the sentence in 22 CR 180, Mr. Favre?
That is correct, Judge. That total is $48.71.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. And who is the alleged victim in that for the 48.71?
That would be, let's see. That is Miss, looking for her first name, Martha. Yes.
Okay, and Heather Hunt is the no contact. Now, Mr. Favre, have you talked to her? I'm sure you have. I don't know that it's appropriate for me to ask you what you've talked about with your client, but I'll just tell you out front, I have some concerns with the history of Miss Hunt and Miss Reeves that might be difficult for her to do is have no contact.
Judge, I've been as explicit as I can be. She is aware she has to maintain no contact with Miss Hunt, and she informs me she does have some plans to maybe move out of the area, which would help that. So I don't.
Okay, now she does have that judgment against Miss Hunt in the small claims or limited action, and I don't think it would be appropriate to say she can't collect legally, maybe file the appropriate documents in that case for legal collection, and she might need courtroom contact by Zoom, but I'll address that a little later. Ms. Gilletta, is this all in keeping with your agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. And yes, there is a judgment, and I understand she may go through legal processes, but they must be legal processes and not just randomly showing up at the house. Service should be executed by a law enforcement officer with proper paperwork given to the sheriff's office for fees.
Okay. Well, Miss Reeves, let me talk to you then just a minute. Have you heard what everyone's been talking about?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that all in keeping with your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you do wish to enter into the plea agreement that's been presented to the court today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in case number 2022 CR 180, in count 2, violation of a protection order, that reads that on or about the first day of November 2022, in Greenwood County, state of Kansas, Lavita Jo Reeves did then and there, contrary to the statutes of the state of Kansas, unlawfully and knowingly violate a protection order issued by a court or tribunal pursuant to KSA 60-3105, 30-3106, or 60-3107 in Greenwood County, 22 DM 38 and amendments thereto, in violation of KSA 21-5924A4B1 and against the peace and dignity of the state of Kansas. This is charged as a Class A person misdemeanor with a sentence possible of $2,500 and 1 year in the county jail. How do you plead to this charge?
In count 1,
That's count, oh, I'm sorry.
It's count 2, Judge.
It is
Sorry.
count 2, all right. That on or about the 8th day of November 2022 in Greenwood County, and the rest of the language remains the same. How do you wish to plead to that charge?
guilty.
And tell me, please, with this guilty plea in your own words, what you did on November 8th of 2022 that would make you guilty of violation of a protection order.
I drove by on River Street in front of Miss Hunt's place of employment, and I rolled down my window and yelled out, "Call the police. I'm driving by. Call the police. I'm driving by. Call the police." And she did. That's all I did. I did not drive in there. I did not drive in and get out of my vehicle. I literally drove by and rolled my window down, Miss Webster, and said, "Call the police. Heather, call the police, Heather." And she did, like she always does, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you agree that in Greenwood County District Court case number 2022 DM 38, you have a no contact order with Miss Heather Hunt?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that predates November 8th of 2022, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, what?
It predates it. In other words, that order was in effect when you went by there November 8th of 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you went by her place of employment, what do they call that? The B&B Taquerito or something like that?
Taquero B&B, I believe.
Okay, so was she inside or outside the building at the time?
She was getting out of her vehicle, getting ready to walk in. It was approximately 10:45 in the morning, I believe, approximately.
Were you on the or were you on the street, or had you pulled in the driveway to the?
Driving by on River Street, headed eastbound. No, I did not drive in the driveway. I would never drive in the driveway because I am not to be at that business.
Okay, but did you slow down so that she could hear you?
I did not slow down. I did not slow down. I was going approximately 30 miles per hour. I did not slow down. I literally rolled my window down, Your Honor, and screamed out to her, "Heather, call the cops. Call them like you always do."
Okay.
Because numerous times, Your Honor, she has called them.
All right, well, I do believe that that is considered contact. I call that contact with her, and in violation of the orders in 22 DM 38, which I can take judicial notice of. I am the judge that ordered that no contact, as I recall. So where did she go? Oh, there she is. Okay, so I will find you guilty of count 2 and 22 CR 180. Accordingly, I will dismiss the other count dating back the week before and dismiss that with prejudice as part of the plea agreement. And I will dismiss count, or the entire case, which is made up of the one count in 22 CR 182. And are we ready to proceed with sentencing then, Ms. Gillette? Your recommendations, I think I have them, but if you would.
We are, Your Honor. I'd ask for an underlying term of 6 months, suspended for 12 months probation during the probation term. No contact with the victim in this matter. Also, there's the matter of the restitution to Martha. This defendant has been in custody for a little while now, so I would ask that there be no fine, there'd be court cost, counsel fee, booking fee, and probation fee of $60. And I ask that she be set up with the phone number for probation to contact them. If she does move from the area, it could be transferred within the state of Kansas to wherever she's living.
Mr. Favre, anything further?
Judge, we do not have anything further to add as far as the main bulk of the recommendations. We would mention that Ms. Reeves is considering moving out of state. She has some contacts with people in Oklahoma. Obviously, this is a misdemeanor. So I'm not sure if they'll just let her report remotely or if Oklahoma will consider courtesy supervising her. But that is something she is considering just for the court's awareness.
Mr. Favre, I am concerned that the last time she was here, she did not know where she was going to live. She did not have an address. And I am hesitant to release her on probation without firm roots somewhere. And Mr. Favre, you're muted, sir.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. She was being evicted. I've spoke to her daughter. They took care of apparently removing her stuff from that residence. I think she's going to go live temporarily with her daughter, from what I understand, and then we'll have more long-term plans after that.
That is temporarily the plan since I was evicted from my home. And so we have plans, but I have to be out of here to further plan. I can't just, I got to get out of here to get a plan. I can't just be stuck in here and try to make a plan. I got to get out of here to get a plan.
Do you have your car there in Greenwood County?
It was parked yes, it was parked at the residence. Yes.
Your residence?
Yeah, well.
The mid-cap residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have anybody from the sheriff's office here? I don't, do I? Okay.
Should have been Randy Cox, but.
Yeah, he's usually here. Okay, so I don't
But
know.
irregardless, I can get my daughter, or.
Well, I just want to know what your path is going to be.
It's going to be with family is what it's going to be. That's
Okay.
what it's gonna be. So that's my path.
All right, well, you're in the Elk County Sheriff now, and I presume that Greenwood would go and pick you up and bring you back to Greenwood County, or I don't know if they'll just open the doors there at Elk County and say you're out, but I want to make sure you contact your probation officer upon release. Jessica Morgan, is she going to be the probation officer? Jessica, will that be you or will that be Carrie Seeley?
That will be me, Judge.
All right. So, Ms. Reeves, meet your probation officer in case you haven't before, Jessica Morgan.
You will call me tomorrow morning.
I can do that. Yes, ma'am.
Sounds great.
Now, Ms. Reeves, I want you to tell her exactly where she can find you. I want her to be able to find you at a moment's notice while you're on probation.
I will make sure she has that information, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. As long as you do that, that's one of the big steps. Telephone number and residence. And that needs to be a reputable person, which I'm sure your daughter is. So let's go over the terms of your probation. I could give you a year, but I'll follow the agreement and give you 6 months as your underlying sentence. Of course, you've already served part of that, and you'll get credit for any time you've served towards that 6 months. How long have you been in jail?
30 days,
30 days?
33 days.
33, and as I recall, you do home health, is that right?
Well, I have been doing home health, but I'm going to be taking classes soon. So home health, yes, has been what it's been, and CNA, I'm a certified nursing assistant.
Okay, and what kind of classes are you going to start?
I will be enrolling in social service designing, which follows into the home health,
Okay,
healthcare stuff. Yes,
so is that a major that they have now called social services designing?
social service designing is part of healthcare. Yes,
Okay, I'm not familiar with that, thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to waive the attorney fees at this time since you've been in jail and unemployed for a while now. I'm not going to assess a fine. I'm also ordering the restitution to Martha in the case that was dismissed of $48.71 for the misuse of the credit card or whatever it was.
$48.71, you're ordering me to pay?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So you're looking at a little over $300, it looks like. How soon do you think you'll get that paid?
Well, I have to get out of here and contact I got steps to follow. I gotta get out of here first. Your
Well,
Honor,
then let me decide for you.
you do that, please. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, I am going to order that you pay $50 a month at least. You are to have absolutely no contact with Heather Hunt unless it is through totally legal channels through the court in which you took the judgment. As Ms. Gillette said, the sheriff will serve any notices for her to appear in court. You can always appear by Zoom and not have any personal contact that isn't personally supervised by the court.
Your Honor, I have a question, or I would like to
Yes.
say something.
Go
At this
ahead.
point in time, the small claims, the 2020 small claims 2020 SC3, at this point, I loaned her the money. It's been almost 3 years. You know, she's gone through 3 to 4 jobs at this point. I wish her the best of luck. I hope she can move forward with her life. I don't care to have any contact whatsoever at this point with Heather Hunt. This is a nightmare. She's in and out of your courtroom 17 times. I could care less what Heather Hunt does with her life. I am moving on.
All right, well, I take it that means you're not going to pursue that? That's your
I am
call tonight?
absolutely not. You will not see me in your courtroom with Heather Hunt's name on it, as a matter of fact.
All right, well, that's your call to make, but if you do want to get your money back, you have to do it legally.
I am
without
not
getting into-
worried about that dime.
Fair enough.
50
Okay,
cents or 2 cents, period. Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome. Now then, I think that covers, of course, all standard conditions will apply. Ms. Morgan will go over those with you. And if you decide you want to move out of state, we can address that at the time, whether that's a plus or a negative.
Well, I have plenty going on that needs to be handled before I move out of state, obviously, within the next 6 months,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
That makes sense. So I think that covers pretty much everything. Ms. Gillette, anything else we need to address from the state's perspective?
Did you say 6 or 12 months probation?
I said 6. I did contemplate 12, but 6 will be the order with the 12-month reporting probation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Favre, anything else we need to address from the defendant's perspective?
Judge, I think that's everything. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so did Sheriff Walker, are you or one of the deputies there?
Deputy Mueller's there.
I just want to know, since I don't have a Greenwood County deputy here, what is the plan for her release? Will you expect Greenwood to come and pick her up?
We don't transport, so
You don't transport, and you do expect them to come and get her?
either they're gonna come and get her or she's gonna have to walk.
Okay, well, that's what I needed to know, that it is possible to turn her loose.
She should be released and any family she has to come pick her up.
Well, if she's to be released, I am going to require that her daughter be there to pick her up. I'm not going to just have her turned out on the streets. She's going to be held for Greenwood County until her daughter picks her up or until they pick her up. But even if they pick her up, I still want her being released to her daughter. Did you understand that, Miss Reeves? I don't want you just turned out on the streets. I want
My property.
whichever agency releases you, whether it be Greenwood or Elk, I want your daughter to be there to pick you up. So can
Okay.
you hold your daughter and have that happen?
Well, Greenwood County sent me here to be held, and Greenwood County has my property in Greenwood County Jail. So I have no clothes here to even change into.
Okay, fair enough. So Miss Gillette, can you make sure Greenwood County picks her up and brings her back and signs her out here? I think,
I'll see.
You'll see, because I have no clothes.
well, I think her request is a reasonable one, that she is there on their hold and they took her there.
Thank you, Your Honor, because I have no clothes here.
And she does need her clothes. Are you in an Elk County garb there, or is that Greenwood County that owns that jumpsuit?
I am on hold here from Greenwood County, Your
But
Honor.
are you wearing the jumpsuit that belongs to Elk? Are they going to want that back before you leave?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes.
Okay, and that's probably their handcuffs, so they're probably going to want their equipment back.
As a matter of fact.
But keep your attitude in check, because I don't want you to get crossways with any deputies and have new charges, Miss Reeves.
Well, I'm being held here from Greenwood County.
I understand that.
My property is in Greenwood County.
I understand that, and I have agreed with you, so you might, again, keep your attitude in check so you don't blow it. And likewise, whichever officers, whatever they do, don't go off on them, telling them how things are going to be, or you'll make it worse for yourself. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Favre, thank you for your service. You've been very helpful. And of course, Ms. Gillette always does her job well. So at this time, folks, we'll be in recess. Ms. Morgan, if she doesn't call you by tomorrow morning late, you know what to do, right? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
Numbers 13, 14, and 22, People versus Jeffrey Bloom, 22673 FH, 22675 FH, and 21344 FH.
Amy Reiser on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Rob J. Kill on behalf of Jeffrey. Jeffrey, if you're there, would you state your name for the record, please?
Don't know that the jail has brought him yet.
I see his name up there, but it's muted and the camera's not on. There he is.
Your Honor, I am going to his door right now.
Thank you.
Your Honor, just for your information, I'm going to be asking for a 2-month adjournment of the pre-trial. I met with Jeffrey last night for over 2 hours. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on case 22-675. So I'm just giving you a heads up.
Thank you. Is there any objection to an adjournment?
No, Your Honor. Would just ask that the defendant confirm that he met with Mr. Kilowatt last night on the record. Not that I doubt that you met with him, Bob, but
Yes, you do. You're still muted, ma'am.
There you go.
There you go. Jeffrey, can you hear me? Jeffrey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you and I met last night for a couple hours, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you and I both agreed that we need at least, can you turn there you go. You and I both agreed that we'd like to adjourn this pretrial at least 60 days. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm still really sick, so I'm trying to get this tooth taken care of and all that. So.
Okay, and that's part of the reason why. But otherwise, Judge, there's just a lot of work that needs to be done on this case. And it was quite an extensive preliminary exam. So again, we're asking for a 60-day adjournment of the pretrial.
and no objection.
Has the transcript been done?
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, he has it. We have it.
Okay. So 60 days would take us to, well, I can do it February 23rd or March 2nd. I'm going to be out February 16th. So I expect that the 23rd will be a full docket. But if you want that date, I can do it.
What was the first date, Your Honor, in March?
I could either do March 2nd or February 23rd.
Can we have it March 2nd?
Ms. Reiser?
No objection.
Okay, I do find good cause for that adjournment, and I'm adjourning this to March 2nd at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
And the VOPs as well, Your Honor.
And the VOPs, I'll adjourn everything to them.
Thank you.
Good day.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.